Hi, Democrats. Today is Monday, December 6th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Monday. So today marks the last Monday of the year that I will be doing a live. I will be taking the rest of the year off to get ready for the restructured live that we're planning for 2022 as we move into the election season, and to kind of give you guys a break. But there's a lot to talk about because it is election season and we have a lot of work to do. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about our governor and our legislators' stance on pro-life, because they're, all of the national news, we're hearing about all this nonsense that's going on in Mississippi. And so it's gotten everybody to be thinking about women's reproductive rights. And so it just made me think, our governor bragged last week that Oklahoma is the most pro-life state in the union, and any bill that comes across his desk that's supposedly pro-life, he's going to sign it. What's interesting to me is his definition of pro-life, right? When I think of pro-life, I mean pro-life. That means protecting the sanctity of life. When he thinks of pro-life, it means controlling women's bodies. That's the only thing I can come up with, because he signed in, House Bill 2597 in the last legislative session that allowed for permitless carry. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that's not a pro-life piece of legislation, but okay. And so it just got me to thinking, right? And I did some research, and I couldn't get through it because I kept getting madder and madder, and I've got to kind of control myself. But I started researching the proposed legislation for the next legislative session. That's exactly right, Christina. I started thinking about the proposed legislation for the next session that starts on February 7th, 2022. And so legislators are already packaging their bills and turning them in. And just on the Senate side, I went through the first 21 proposed pieces of legislation. 21. There were 3. So what is that? 15% of the bills in the first 21 that were about guns. So there were 3 out of 21 that were about guns. Ask me how many were about healthcare? None. And their first 21. So their priorities are very, very clear. Thank you, John. He corrected my math. 14.3% were about guns. And let's talk about healthcare. Their priorities aren't about healthcare. And I believe that reproductive rights are healthcare. That is healthcare. That's not what their bills are about. Their bills are about making sure that folks can take, certain people can take guns into gun-free zones, schools that have been designated as gun-free zones. Gun-free seems like it means gun-free, except we have a bill, Senate Bill 1114, that is trying to make sure that some folks can take guns into the gun-free zone. Next, Senate Bill 1118. We already have permitless carry, but apparently that allows too much wiggle room. And so we're trying to modify the training course so that you don't have to take any kind of training whatsoever to be able to carry a weapon. Dangerous. And then we have Senate Bill 1120. This is Kyle's Law. So the mere fact that our senator named a bill Kyle's Law is a slap to the face of those of us who are of a common sense mindset, to name a bill after a teenager who carried a firearm across state lines and shot and killed I guess I can't say murdered since he was found not guilty of murder, but he did kill 2 individuals and maim another. And so now we have a bill that's named after him that basically says, if you find yourself in a situation where you kill someone and it's determined whether rightfully or wrongfully that it's self-defense, then everybody involved has to pay. You don't have to pay your defense fees. You don't have to pay for anything. And my fear in this is that it emboldens more people to become Kyles, because it's called Kyle's Law. It emboldens more people to take a gun into a situation. And everyone knows that taking a gun into a situation just elevates the seriousness of that situation, whether you intend to use it or not. Whatever the weapon is, you knife into a situation, you elevate you elevate it. You take a gun, you elevate the situation. And it's hard to come back from that. And so now we are submitting bills that is encouraging that kind of behavior here on our soil, here in Oklahoma, where we're already a Second Amendment sanctuary state. Whew. Talk about elevating a situation. I have to say again, folks, elections have consequences. You may not see it right away, but elections have consequences. And all of these people who are proposing these bills were elected, whether it's because we didn't put up a challenger, run for office, whether it's because of the gerrymandered maps, which make it almost impossible for a Democrat to win in certain parts of our state. But the big deal is elections have consequences. We have to be paying attention, not just when someone we know is affected, because we're all affected. And the answer is exactly as Representative Waldron said. The answer is more Democrats. So this leads me to my favorite refrain. Now's the time for you to decide. Are you the one to run for office? School board filing is this week. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, you can file for school board all over the state. But if you want to run for state office, you want to run for municipal office, you still have some time to think about it. Give our office a call. We'll walk you through the process. We'll help you figure out which office is the best office for you. Or maybe you know someone. Have them call. Call me. Give me their information. I'll give them a call. Now's the time for us to be finding someone. Elections have consequences. And right now, our Democratic delegation, small but mighty, is in there. They are fighting for us, but they need help. We need to send them help. There needs to be more numbers so that when they're arguing a case, it has more weight. We need to be more than 19 in the House and more than 9 in the Senate, so that when a bill written by a Democratic legislature comes to the floor, it may actually have an opportunity to come to the floor. Secondly, it might actually get heard. It may actually get across the line. We shouldn't celebrate the very few Democrat pieces of legislation that get across the line, because some do, but it's so rare that it is a big celebration. It should be normal. And so if for that to happen, we need more Democrats in the legislature. So go out to Oklahoma, okdemocrats.org/run for office. Fill that out. We'll give you a call. We need your help. All right. Thanks for joining me today. Sharing is caring. And I'll be back tomorrow at 4:15. Have a great one.